What's up everybody, Bandit here. So it's a nasty rainy old day outside, but luckily we're here in the garage to show you this Tacoma's latest modification. So a couple weeks ago, I got this in the mail. I did order it from CJ Pony Parts, and what it is it's the Redline tuning hood strut kit. I had hood struts on my Land Cruiser, really enjoyed having it. It sounds like kind of a dumb thing, but honestly, it makes the world of difference, and it's one of those things that makes you feel good every single time you pop the hood. So let me show you exactly what came in this tube. So you pop the end of it off here, and it came with a really nice set of directions. Now obviously all the rest of the parts are on the truck. I'll show you that here in a minute. But these instructions were really good. I was very impressed. You know, we go through a lot of different modifications and a lot of different companies to get our modifications, but this is probably the best set of instructions I've seen. Everything is in color. It has great pictures. You can see there it has really descriptive arrows for where you're supposed to make all of your measurements and everything like that. I was very impressed. Like I said, it's impressive because it really is probably the nicest set of instructions I've ever seen for any product of any modification, and this honestly wasn't that expensive. I think the original price was around $100 on CJ Pony Parts. I got it a little bit cheaper because I did use their code that they had out on Black Friday, but finally, all these weeks later, we're finally getting it on the truck, so let's take a look at it. So go ahead and pop the hood here, and as you can see, it actually comes up a little bit higher and faster than normal. But then you can reach your hand through here, hit the little flap, and everything goes up by itself. Now again, this is not a necessary modification for your Tacoma. I'm not trying to say it is, but it does make you feel a lot better whenever you pop the hood. When I was wiring my Cali raised LED pods, or when I was installing the TRD air filter, it would have been really nice to have this, because it seems like when you're using this hood prop that every other Tacoma driver uses, you're constantly fighting it, bumping into it, and honestly, I get a little bit scared that I'm going to knock it out and it's going to slam down on my head, and I don't think that would be too good. But you can see here, it does have a strut on either side, and this is how a lot of other manufacturers and even a lot of other Toyota products have. My 1991 Land Cruiser had hood struts. Now obviously they needed replacing after nearly 30 years, but it goes to show you this isn't new technology, and it is really nice, and it is kind of a luxury thing. You open a lot of hoods for luxury vehicles, and this is the sort of thing that you would see. Hood props are kind of the cheap way to go around it, but this is certainly a lot nicer. So taking a look here at the hood struts, you can see right there it says Redline Tuning. Again, that is the brand. I purchased these from CJ Pony Parts, and it was a little bit more of an in-depth modification than what I was expecting. You might be able to see here that these are actually rivets. You had to drill through your hood and rivet it, and I didn't realize that when I bought it. I'm not sure if it would have necessarily deterred me, but I was kind of under the impression that it was either going to use factory holes like this one here, or it was just going to be some kind of self-tapping screw or something like that. Certainly using a rivet, pop rivets, is a little bit more of an in-depth modification, but overall I think it turned out really great. Also, it says in those really awesome instructions to only use these pop rivets. Do not replace them with any sort of screw or anything like that. I'm sure they have the reasoning for that. I can't exactly tell you why it is, but overall I think the install looks really clean. It came with these brackets, it came with 8 pop rivets, and 2 of these gas shocks here for the hood and the easy operation with that. You can see it does have one bracket down here. You had to take this black plastic off, and all you have to do for that is to remove this little plastic push pin, and then the whole thing slides inward towards the motor. Not too bad, but then that's basically the same deal. Each of these brackets do have 2 pop rivets on either side. You need a 3/16 drill bit to kind of drill that out. You might need to ream the holes out just a little bit to make everything fit, and then you can go ahead and use your riveter. Go ahead and try to close the hood now. It does have a little bit of resistance, but overall not too bad, not too heavy. It's not like you have to grab on the hood and start swinging from it just to get this thing down. The weighting of the shocks is very equally matched to the hood, so it holds it up, it pops up really quickly and nicely, but overall it's not very hard to shut either. Hopefully this will last a really long time in all kinds of different weather conditions. I'll be sure to keep you all updated on all of that. So you might be asking yourself, how long should I plan to install this on your vehicle? And the truth is, it only took a little over an hour. Honestly, the longest process that we had to go through is we actually dropped a rivet down here in my quarter panel, and we had to use some compressed air and some magnets and some flashlights to try to relocate this thing and be able to use it once again. So if you would be able to avoid that process, like I would definitely recommend, it honestly did not take very long. Basically all you're doing is you're taking 4 measurements, drilling 8 holes, and putting 8 rivets in. And when you think about all of that, it really should not take you all that long. Again, I'm very pleased with how the whole install process worked. The instructions were great for this product. I really cannot say that enough. Very, very impressed with Redline Tuning instructions. That really made the world of difference with this product. And overall, I'm very pleased. So overall, I feel like this is a really worthwhile modification. It looks like Redline Tuning has a lot of these quick lift systems for several different vehicles that don't come already from the factory with these hood struts. Again, I really enjoy it, and honestly, I don't feel like it's too bad of a price. Now, $100 is somewhat pricey for just these small modifications that really don't add a whole lot to your truck, but to be honest with you, it really does make me feel a lot better about it, and every time I pop the hood, I get a smile on my face now because it's just one of those things that it makes me happy. It's kind of a hard thing to explain, but it's the simple things a lot of times in life that make you the happiest. But anyhow, roughly $100 for this kit. I really don't feel like that's too bad, and especially if you get a coupon code like I did on Black Friday, you get it kind of down into the $80, $85 range, and that is really not too bad. Just these struts here on either side, if you were to get a pair of those, you're looking at probably the same price. So they're basically throwing in the brackets and all of the rivets there for free. And again, I don't think you could do this by yourself. Without these instructions, I would have been lost. It really is nice to have accurate ways to measure it, pictures of how they recommend you measuring it. Basically, you take measurements off of where your hood bolts in, and also the back of kind of the bracket where the hood hinges for each of those. And it does really make it nice. I don't think you could come up with your own kit for cheaper than this, and overall, I am really impressed. Like I said, the only thing that I was kind of shocked about is how in-depth the modification is. I actually had to go down to my granddad's house and borrow his riveter because I don't have one on hand, and I'm sure a lot of you all don't have one on hand. You know, it's not just a common thing. I was kind of expecting this to just use self-tapping screws where, you know, if you have a screwdriver really, it might take a little bit more time, but you could get it done. This does require a little bit more tooling, but overall, I do think it's worth it, and I would definitely buy these again. So let me know what you all think. Would you buy this kit for your truck, or are you fine with the standard old hood prop? I'm sure I'll have a lot of interesting reading going on here in the comment section. But thank you all very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll catch you next time.